I hope death is like this. I hope death is like being carried to your bedroom when you were a child and fell asleep on the couch during a family party. I hope you can hear the laughter from the next room. That's on a card at the beginning from Lilies Abounded. Uh, Lots of elements like this in the story below. Keep thinking about the line, you understand nobody wronged you, in this quote. He told me dying was wonderful. I thought it was rude that he didn't miss me, but he said that's just the way it is. Grief is meant for the living. I don't remember everything he said to me from Lung. I remember every word he said to me, but I can't tell you everything. Music is a language between the worlds, he said. Dying is like a great moment of understanding and forgiveness, he said. It's so freeing. You understand nobody wronged you. I took it to mean, or hoped it meant, that the things that I had come to worry about, the failures to reach understanding, the sense that I had treated the departed unfairly, didn't mean that they were worried about those things anymore. Here's a longer quote. It's by Laurel Lentz, a super duper writer. His light was so bright the first time I saw him, shirtless in October, smoking a cigar and laughing at my anger. I looked over at him, his laughter making me pause. Even from a distance, there was something about his eyes that made me look closer before lifting another trash bag filled with all the contents of my kitchen and tossing it in the trash bin. Throwing out my kitchen was transformational for me. I was throwing out my kitchen for generations of women who couldn't be contained by home or by traditional marriage. I was 19 and angry and trapped. I'd just spoken vows I didn't mean just 6 months before. But there was his laughter, there was his light, his topaz blue eyes shining down on me from the steps of the townhouse next to mine. 4 years later, after his funeral, where his son Snot cried on my thighs, where I tried to crawl into the coffin to open his mouth that had been sewn shut so I could see his gapped teeth one more time, he came to me. I was in bed. All my friends were in the living room getting high, but I didn't get high, so I went to take a nap. There he was, his whole human body. That's how they come to us sometimes. They're dead. So often they come in the image of who they were in their body because to come to us any other way might be hard for us to recognize them. He said, wake up, baby. Before I go, I have a few things I want you to know. I stared at his broad swimmer's shoulders, his kind hands gently stroking my sorrow, his legs crossed, the left over the right. And there was that light again, the light I saw at the top of the concrete stairs the first day I met him. He told me dying was wonderful. I thought it was rude he didn't miss me, but he said that that's just the way it is. Grief is meant for the living. I don't remember everything he said. I'm lying. I remember every word he said to me, but I can't tell you everything. Music is language between the worlds, he said. Dying is like a great moment of understanding and forgiveness, he said. It's so freeing. You understand nobody wronged you. It wasn't coming back in a body on earth, not this time. That's when I realized I was looking at his soul, and he had brought his soul in the image of his body. And I was still looking in his eyes, but really into his soul. He said in other universes, we just take a full grown body. Show me what you look like now, I said. He said that wasn't allowed. Tell them I won't be frightened. And just like that, before my eyes, my beloved morphed into another being, human-like, with a head and arms and legs and a torso. Not young, not old, as we define years. A head that was larger on top. His eyes were so different, and yet I recognized him completely through his eyes, because the same light came out of them, even though they were larger and wrapped around to the side of his head. That's when he told me religion is mostly wrong about the universe and God. Did my dead atheist boyfriend just use the word God? But they were also right about one thing, he smiled. But just like that, he was gone. Not a day goes by in the 30 years since that moment when I don't see his eyes, both sets of them, or think about the one thing. Hafiz said, when no one is looking and I want to kiss God, I just lift my own hand to my mouth. Don't know what to make of it. This is my part now. Don't know what to make of the part where he reveals a different form. The one with the head larger toward the top and the eyes that go around the side. That sounds like a classic gray alien in a way. I have seen accounts of appearing as a ball of light and used to see patients appear and dream now as a young adult, one in a wheelchair dressed in his familiar plaid shirt, so I would know right away who he was. When my father appeared in dream, it felt like we were peers, that the asymmetry of father and son had been dropped. I said, let's go up the street. I'll show you the schooner being restored. Right before we got there, we came to a drop off of 6 feet or so. Should I help him take his hand? He jumped down with no problem. I was still thinking of him as 82. And the further thought that the skeleton is not a form we take certainly makes a striking image, but it is not part of our journey to the next world. This reminds me of a conversation with my stepson. He was apologizing for being difficult and causing stress when he ran away from home. I came right back with, don't worry about that. You were a kid. I went directly into my shortcomings, which he also had let go downstream. Relief all around. It was satisfying to run that conversation by my adoptive father and yet another effort to bury the hatchet. And then the photograph of Great American Music Hall, a fancy house in San Francisco, now a concert hall. Here's the story of another encounter. Now treading the last waters of consciousness, the figures from dreamland poised around me like players in a game of red light, green light, ready to resume, waiting for my attention to shift a little more. On a silent cue, we all exhale and take up the play again. I'm in a theater or a club. It looks like a fancy house from the 1840s that has seen better days. Slightly frayed red damask walls, gaslight fixtures. Upstairs, everything is smaller, the ceiling only as high as a man can reach, like in early times. I'm expected somewhere downstairs. I'm not sure where. I'm not familiar with this place, still discovering it. There is a sense of foreboding, anticipation. I go out on the balcony that wraps around 3 stories of the lobby. There's a light, activity. I hear voices. I go down. There around a long table sit my grandfather, on his right, Ben Franklin, and then James Madison, and perhaps 8 or 9 others. I'm so distracted trying to act normally and process Ben Franklin, people from different centuries, that I don't register who the rest are. My grandfather welcomes me very warmly, like a much favored grandchild. I feel about 8 years old in his company. I'm a little taken aback because I never knew him in this life. He died before I was born. There's a large document on the table, parchment. They are planning something. It's one of those moments where it is silently and quickly translated from unknown to known, but a vague outlines. I'm asked what I think. Yes, yes, I silently assent, having no clear idea to what. Inside, I'm busy on two tracks. One, we might still be involved with this world, even planning new things for this world after we die. Hardly seems worth calling it dying then. And two, that I'm so warmly favored by my grandfather, really that he even knows me. He was always reported to be formidable, distant from my father, who in turn was reserved, distant from me. I just assumed that I would never be accepted into the fold on that side of the family. This encounter really was a rite of passage for me, a rite of acceptance. Rather shaky ground to base it on, I know, but my only other contact was putting a cotton beard on his portrait at Christmas time. When we went to see the painting on the trip back to Washington with the family, somebody told me it was venturing too far to the past or was untoward to move the memory of his painting to such a public place. I couldn't really tell, and anyway, I didn't see the harm. We finally located where the painting was hung. It was in the National Portrait Gallery. It was done when he was Secretary of Agriculture in Wilson's cabinet. Anyway, when we located the gallery and turned the corner, there we were met by an entire blank wall of milky plastic taped off all around, floors, walls, and ceiling. The gallery was undergoing renovation. So along with the skeletons in the traditional picture, there is the wish that the departed is resting in peace. And for all we know, the now unburdened virtual 26-year-old is busier than ever and having a great time. That's it.